Today, we are heading to the Edapalayam watchtower and Thekudi within the Periyar Tiger Reserve. Maybe you have seen some videos about it and some of you might have stayed there before. Even though it is a watchtower, the stay in here is quite luxurious. We can easily get sightings of sambar deers, wild gours, elephants and many other forest animals. This morning's view from the watchtower was breathtaking, especially the red-colored sky. The sight of animals bathed in the red light of rising sun created a wonderful ambience. We have an interesting forest story this time. So let's begin. We are starting our trip from the boarding point in Thekudi. The boat will drop us off after a 15-minute journey, followed by a 20-minute walk through the forest to reach the watchtower. You can book all these ecotourism programs through their website, and let me share you the details of these in the description box. Right now we are traveling by boat. While the full boarding safari on this reservoir lasts 1.5 hours, we will reach our destination in just 15 minutes. So if you want to enjoy the entire 1.5 hour journey safari, you can purchase the ticket for 250 rupees. Boating is a wonderful experience, especially in the summer when the chances of seeing animals are much higher. We'll provide a separate video for the boating tour as there's so much to see and enjoy during the journey. After a 1.5 hour trip through the reservoir, we arrived in front of the Thekudi Lake Palace around 3:30 p.m. This 3-star resort, managed by the KTDC, was once the summer palace of the Travancore king. We'll walk alongside to continue to our journey. The only way to reach this resort is by boat, and it is located on an island. 2 forest guides and 1 forest officer, armed with a gun for our safety, will accompany us, bringing us enough food and supplies for the day. A little further, there's a small tree bridge that we need to cross. Today, our guides are Mr. Kapiran and Satish, and my friend Sam is also with us. It is somewhat cloudy, giving the impression of being around 6 p.m, but it is actually only 4 p.m. This path leads directly to the watchtower, and since it is less traveled and less crowded, the chances of spotting animals are quite high. There's an open area nearby where we might see some wildlife. So we have decided to head there. And when we have arrived, we saw 2 wild boars and a sambar deer coming down from the forest. Later, a few more sambar deer had followed. They hadn't noticed us, but after some time, a sudden noise came from the left side of the forest, drawing the attention of all the animals. The sambar deer raised its tail and leg. Did you notice that? Indicating that it was either scared or it had seen something. The deer's ears and eyes were highly focused, and it was ready to run. You might have noticed that sambar deers always have small birds near their necks, poking at them with their beaks. There are bugs near their necks, and the deers try to get rid of the itching by scratching their necks against trees or rocks. Now we are heading to the watchtower. We will be reaching it in about 10 minutes. Along the way, I spotted a tree completely covered in spider webs, with no leaves left on it. We are now almost in front of the watchtower. And as you can see, there are many Indian cows, all females, watching us as they have heard our sounds. There were also some sambar deers nearby, and as soon as they heard something, they became alert and signaled all the others with the alarm call. Did you hear that? All the animals then scattered and went away. They will return here at night because this open area is safe for them. Although Samba deers and Indian gaurs can see at night, their eyesight isn't as good as the tigers, which increases the risk of tiger attacks inside the forest. This is why we can observe wild animals from the watchtower. We have reached the watchtower, which is surrounded by dense forest. This location is wonderful, with an open ground area in front of the tower and an elephant ridge around the building. We will be staying on top of this structure. The British built this long ago, and it was maintained and started providing for tourists a few years ago. There are many watchtowers inside the forest, but most of them are not in use due to poor maintenance. Currently, the tariff is 9,600 rupees per day for 2 people, and the children below 12 years of age are not allowed. This is an old watchtower, but as you can see, it is well maintained. There is no fan, but solar lighting is available. You can see wild animals right from the bed. This is a small sit-out area and the place is very peaceful. Sam is waiting with his camera to shoot the animals. He has a YouTube channel called the Newton Vlogs and is primarily a photographer. After a short tea break, we began walking around the area to see if there was any nearby wildlife. A Samba deer caught our attention. It was quite large, weighing around 270 kgs and can grow as tall as a cow. This deer is the largest animal in Asia among the deer species. Nearby, a wild boar was munching on grasses while keeping an eye on the Samba deer as well. Meanwhile, we spotted a Nilgiri langur on top of a tree. Can you spot any other animals? Satish spotted the great Indian hornbill. Initially, it was inside a tree, making it hard for us to see clearly. We waited patiently for about 15 minutes, and finally it emerged and flew away. This hornbill, the state bird of Kerala, has a very loud call. They tend to fly away quickly upon sensing human presence. I will record it if I can hear its call again. We returned to the watchtower before it got too late. After a refreshing shower, I grabbed my camera and settled down. Today we are using a Nikon Z mount 100-400 lens paired with a Z30 camera. The standout feature of this lens is its compact size and lightweight build. This is a Nilgiri langur, commonly seen in the forest areas of the Western Ghats. However, it's rare to see them up close. In the presence of humans, they typically run and climb the trees. As night falls, more animals are arriving at this open area, and they will likely stay here until tomorrow morning. Guests had sighted leopards here a few weeks ago, and the elephants and bears are frequent visitors. Despite the higher cost of staying here, I would have loved to spend more time and create a detailed video for you. The deers are very playfully fighting, making the surroundings lively. Staying in such a serene environment, disconnected from mobile phone signals and distractions, is truly wonderful. Words can't fully capture my emotions in this video. We ventured outside for another walk, always accompanied by the beat officer and his gun for our safety. We encountered an Indian gaur crossing our path and managed to record a video without disturbing it before heading back. As it's getting darker, the visibility of animals is diminishing. I'm currently seated in the sit-out area with a torch. There's a possibility of rain indicated by the lightning and thunder. After some time, we noticed animals running around, their eyes glowing in the dark. Many samba deers are gathered around on the ground, standing close to the watchtower where humans are present. This behavior is due to tigers and leopards typically avoiding areas with human presence, making it a safer zone for the deers. The forest guide prepared a delicious dinner for us, consisting of chapati, chicken curry and dal. These guides who accompanied us also served as our cooks. Later, I spotted a porcupine. There's a common misconception that porcupines can shoot their spines, but in reality they can't do it. Instead, they have spines like their fur. We also saw a sub-adult Asian palm civet, which is a rare sighting because they usually stay hidden during the day and prefer to stay on top of the trees. It's currently raining lightly, and the deers are very close to the watchtower. This is a usual occurrence as animals often stay near the watchtower even when humans are present, but they will likely leave early in the morning. The guide informed us that there's an elephant behind the watchtower which has come to drink the water from the reservoir, accompanied by a baby elephant as well. Since it is night, it is not safe to venture into the forest, so this video was taken from near the watchtower. The elephants don't mind our presence because we are at a distance. The area where the elephants are standing behind the watchtower is truly beautiful. Let's visit there tomorrow morning. Furthermore, we spotted another Asian palm civet perched in a tree. We were able to get closer views of these civets as they were on the tree. There was a light rain and thunder last night, so this is the view from the room in the morning while laying down. Although many sampa deers were present during the night, they have all left and now a herd of wild gaur is grazing at a distance. They are slowly walking into the sunlight. The watchtower faces east, making it incredibly beautiful when the sun rises, accompanied by the chirping of birds. The morning vibe, this is truly one of the best experiences. After enjoying some black tea, we decided to head into the forest where the sambar deer were standing. The sunlight during the golden hours is incredibly refreshing. We are walking quietly through the forest because if the sambar deer see us, they will run away. Move stealthily like a cat and be careful of the dry grasses, else they'll run away. We reached the edge of the field. As you can see, the sambar deer are attentively listening to the sounds around them. At the slightest signal, they will all run away. But unfortunately, a group of sambar deer in the left signaled about us as soon as they saw us. Look how beautifully the sambar deers are bathed in the sunlight. It is a very refreshing morning with the sounds of crickets in the background and all these deers around. Additionally, many people have enquired if I can provide personal guidance for visiting scenic places in Kerala. For those seeking personal guidance, please contact me via the email in the description or on Instagram at @thePicollinsWild. Please note that I do not organize any group tours. The morning views are my favorite, and the words cannot do justice to them. As we stood still for a while, the sambar deer that had run away returned to the field. Like many other forest animals, sambar deer are good swimmers. They are often seen jumping into the water and swimming to escape from tigers and wild dogs. While tigers can swim, they are not usually willing to go that far to catch their prey. After some time, another group of sambar deers appeared in front of the watchtower, grazing on the grass. With them was a wild boar. These animals from different species coexist peacefully and do not attack each other. I have often seen sambar deers walking alongside of wild boars, and perhaps herbivores tend to group together. We then returned and headed to the back of the watchtower, where we had seen elephants yesterday. Animals like sambar deer and wild boar are usually found in the front of the watchtower, while elephants, tigers and similar animals are typically found behind it. Yesterday, we saw an elephant near the side of this lake. During the rainy season, the water level reaches this rock. We didn't linger long, as we had to return for breakfast before heading out for trekking. Bridges like this are placed on either side of the watchtower to protect humans from the wild animals. Once an elephant destroyed this bridge and tossed it into the river. By the time we returned, breakfast was ready. Based on our preferences, we need to inform them of our menu choices the day before. And as you can see, there is a monitor lizard near the trench. It's not coming out because it saw us. Even though this is a baby langur, it is a very intelligent animal. While chimpanzees are considered the most intelligent animals after human beings, observing this Nilgiri langur shows that all the members of the monkey family are highly intelligent. After breakfast, we sat for 10 minutes before starting our trek. Next to this watchtower, there is a big mountain that we are planning to trek. Here are some tips for those planning to stay at the Edapalayam watchtower. Located in Thekudi, within the Periyar Tiger Reserve in Idukki district, it is surrounded by forests. You can book your stay just like you would do with the normal rooms and hotels. There are many other tourist attractions to visit in the area. I'll include the relevant websites in the description. You can book your stay through their online website. Once booked, arrive at the Periyar Information Center by 12 p.m, where they'll provide parking facilities. If you're traveling by bus, get off at Kumali bus stand, which is a 10-minute walk from the center. I'll upload the detailed instructions in the description. After arriving at the office, complete the required formalities and then proceed to the boating point. They provide a bus to take you there. Please carry a torch and wear clothes in colors like orange or brown that blend with the forest. Avoid using perfumes or body sprays as these can attract animals. It's even suggested not to use soap while showering. If you have any queries, feel free to message me on Instagram. If you're visiting during the rainy seasons, bring a sanitizer to help you protect against leeches and other worms. We are walking towards that mountain. Make sure to wear clothing that covers your entire body because the path is lined with tall grasses that can cause bruises. Once we reach the top, we'll find a grass field and get a partial view of the Periyar reservoir. If we use binoculars, we might spot some animals as well. The view of the mountains stretching as far as the eye can see from this hill is extraordinarily beautiful. With the mountains covered in green grass and occasional fog, you will forget all the hardships this mountain has endured. As mentioned yesterday, we use a Nikon camera to capture all these visuals. I have included the camera details used in every video and the description box. We were sitting and photographing the mountains when a great Indian hornbill flew right in front of us again. You can also see a raft in the dam. Those are the people who booked a river rafting trip. After rafting, you can walk through the forests. I have filmed a video of this before, in which I saw a group of elephants with a baby elephant. It was a wonderful experience. Over there is the KTDC Lake Palace. Yesterday we arrived over there by boat and then walked to the watchtower. And there, surrounded by trees, is the Mangala Devi temple. That temple opens only once a year. Now we are standing at the top of the mountain, from where we can see places kilometers away. We get signals from BSNL, Airtel and other networks over here, unlike at the watchtower where there is no network range at all. After spending some time at the top, we planned to return when we heard noises coming from the forest. We zoomed in and saw 3 elephants. We watched them for a while. Eventually, the elephants came out. a female and a baby elephant, followed by another female elephant. This female elephant was very alert and ready to defend if necessary. In elephant herds, the theory is that an old female elephant leads the group, not a tusked male. When tusked males mature around 12 to 15 years old, they are kicked out of the group. This happens because mature males tend to want to mate with the females within their group. To prevent inbreeding, females must find mates outside their group. All decisions and responsibilities within an elephant group rest with the old female leader. Although there may not be many animal sightings, the beauty of this forest captures our hearts. Our guide, who was born and raised near this forest, has extensive knowledge of the area and its wildlife. He can quickly detect the presence of animals. A few wild cows are walking through the forest, unaware of our presence. On the way back, we noticed holes dug by a bear. Yesterday we saw a bear, but it only appeared for 3 to 4 seconds, so we couldn't film it. So if you're planning to visit in here, the chances of seeing wild animals are higher during the summer seasons from January to May. However, it can be very hot during this period, which may affect your enjoyment. After the rainy season, from August to November, the climate is pleasant with lush greenery. That's the time I recommend. So we walked and reached the base of the watchtower, and the checkout time was at 11 o'clock. After 3 to 4 hours of trekking, we took a 15-minute rest, packed our bags and headed back home. This was one of the best experiences and one of the nicest places I've ever stayed. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's meet again soon with another forest story.